Hello, this is Anshu Sharma here. Welcome to my channel. This is part 3 of our series of talks on spiritual awakening and Kundalini awakening. In the first video, we discussed the buried knowledge in our DNA, and this knowledge has to come out. It has to be once again brought to our conscious mind, and because of eons, we have been separated from the source and we have forgotten that knowledge. So, if you have not seen part 1 and part 2, the links are placed in the description box. There are keys to unlock that knowledge, and these keys are activation, unification, expansion, and liberation. We briefly recap what was the process of activation and what is the process of unification. In activation, what is happening? There is a DNA activation is taking place. DNA activation is a process of awakening our latent spiritual potential. It is believed that the activation of specific parts of the DNA can lead to greater spiritual awareness. When we connect to these higher frequencies, then we expand more and more awareness takes place. Our psychic abilities increase, and we experience a deeper connection with our higher self and the universe, and also with divine consciousness. So this was in brief included in the process of activation, but you can see that video. So we are addressing each key in these videos, although in reality it may take you from months to decades to lifetimes to unlock and embody the spiritual knowledge. But here we are only attempting to understand the basic concepts. Now, what did we learn in the process of unification? So let's recap a little bit on that. With unification, we activate our deeper potentials. So unification is a spiritual concept which, when it is realized within, it gives us an experience of merging or harmonization of different aspects of our existence, such as mind, body, and soul, into a state of oneness or unity. So this is what we experience when we unify. So unification involves the union with the divine. Unification is also involves the unification of our inner and outer aspects. We harmonize. So spiritual unification is also about bringing peace and coherence to the different aspects of ourself. For instance, yoga means union. It's about integration of body, mind, and spirit. So this was all we discussed in the first two videos on activation and expansion. So in this video, we are going to focus mainly on the process of expansion. What is expansion? Spiritual expansion is the process of transcending personal limitations, and whereby we deepen our awareness and we start aligning with higher states of consciousness. So this process is associated with our awakening, where we get more and more enlightenment, more and more wisdom and knowledge, and finally we realize our connection with the universe. When we expand, what happens? Our perception increases. We feel an increase in love and compassion, and our lower egoic identities dissolve. What it means that we stop feeling the lower emotions of such as hate and pain and sufferings and extra like that. Then our consciousness expands and we move beyond the conditioned beliefs which we have inherited from our cultures, and we ascend higher from ego driven thoughts. We start experiencing a broader awareness of reality. And this reality actually exists beyond our physical and mental realms. If we keep going and we keep going on our spiritual journey, then we also experience expanded consciousness. And we may experience states like samadhi, which is the mystical union with God. There are other things also happen when we expand. We start seeing life beyond the pair of opposites, like good or bad, myself and other, and this is matter and this is spirit. So this distinction between the pair of opposites dissolve, and we integrate various energies. Our heart also expands. Love is no longer conditional, and we are not limited to only certain people. We learn to accept and love everybody actually. We start seeing others as an extension of ourselves only. And then a beautiful thing happens where our higher purpose and higher awareness expands. So we start moving from self-centered goals to serving the greater whole. Our connection to our intuition increases. We start getting more and more wisdom. And then we realize our dharma. What is our sacred purpose? We go from one goal to another because we are not really aligned and we do not know our sacred purpose. So we start realizing our sacred dharma or our sacred purpose. And we start living in harmony with the divine. We start also letting go of lower attachments and then start trusting God more and more. So, what this process actually involves, the process of expansion. Activation and unification finally leads to alchemy and expansion. What exactly happens within us? Transmutation and transformation of lower energies happen when lower emotions get transformed into higher emotions. Like lower emotions of separateness, lower emotions of hate get transformed into higher emotions of love. Alchemy results when energies unite. Old energies transmute and transform, and they give birth to new energies. A new consciousness births within us. We no longer think in the old ways. Expansion happens when our masculine and feminine energies unite and we become one. A new form takes place which is called Ardhanarishwar, where we are both male and female in one body. A unification of masculine and feminine happens, which actually results in the expansion, spiritual expansion. So, how do we cultivate spiritual expansion? We can cultivate spiritual expansion through meditation and silence, which expands our inner stillness and awareness, through self inquiry, asking questions like, who am I? When we ask questions like that, it dissolves our egoic boundaries. Then we start serving others with love, which expands our heart and reduces separation. We just start loving everybody. We are able to offer our services whenever they are required. And finally, we surrender and we start trusting higher self. When we surrender and we come into the state of trust, what actually happens? We start allowing our soul to grow. When our soul grows, expansion happens naturally. So now recap. In video number 1, we talked about the process of activation. Video number 2, we talked about the process of unification. This is video number 3, where we talked about expansion. And video number 4, we are going to talk about liberation. So that's all for today. Thanks for listening. Please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more interesting and soul expanding videos. And I see you in my next video. Bye for now.